Well, I'm Sarah Wendell,
Wendell, Sarah.
and this is Oliver right here. Say hi. He's glaring at the screen. You're all in big trouble. Smart Bitches Trashy Books is a website dedicated to reviewing romance novels and discussing romance with the community of women who read it. Romance is a huge industry, and I know that the Romance Writers of America last calculated through their annual survey that it was a $1.6 billion industry. And I believe that's US only. I don't think that Canadian figures are included in that amount. So if you add to that the Canadian romance readership, you're talking about a whole big pot of money and a whole devoted readership, mostly of women, who don't really talk a lot about what they read because there's a great deal of stigma attached to reading romance novels. It's okay to make fun of romance novels, country music, and fat people. I prefer not to make fun of any of those groups, but those are the ones that are left politically correctness wise that you can make fun of. As far as the website, we talk about the covers, man titty, why there's so much man titty. We talk about the things that are most commonly found in a romance, what we like about them, what we don't, and what's going on as the genre evolves. I discovered romance through petty larceny. I was a late reader when I was a kid, and I'm not sure if that's because I have bad eyesight and I just wasn't able to really get into reading, or if I just wasn't interested in what was being given to me by my teachers. But I was a very late reader, and I remember being moved backwards in reading groups. And the upshot of that is when I was a teenager, because I was a teenager, I was full of angst, and I was convinced that I wasn't very smart because I wasn't into reading. And my dad liked to read like these really thick books about dead white people, and I had no interest in this. And I thought, well, that's it. I'm stupid. Great. So one day in high school, I went into the library and the class valedictorian was there, and she was reading this really thick paperback. And I thought, well, she's the smartest girl in the class. Of course, she's going to be reading this very thick book. And I was reading Sweet Valley High or things that were like, yay thick. And I got up my nerve to ask her what she was reading. And I swear to you, this is exactly what she said. Oh my God, it's a romance novel, and they are so good, and I cannot believe you haven't read one. Oh my God, and she drags me over to the bookshelf and has me look at the little metal rotating rack of romance novels, and she's read every single one. And she marked all the pages with, if I don't want to read this scene, I should skip the ones with the dog ears because maybe there's some bad language or maybe there's some sex. And so we would read this one's really good, and she dresses up like a guy on this one, and in this one she does a marriage of convenience, and he's actually a pirate, and like this non-stop monologue about romance, and I'm sort of sitting there going, whoa. So she gives me this like big stack of books to read, and I'm sort of overwhelmed by the bountiful man titty, because this was in the early 90s when the bigger the breastises on the man on the cover and the bigger the breastises on the woman on the cover, the better. So we're talking epic man titty and then female having wardrobe malfunction. So she gets up to go to the ladies' room, and I picked up the book that she was reading. And it was really good. And I checked it out of the library and ran out the door before she got out of the bathroom. And I stole her book.